This week I was able to get a $2,500 grind and seal on a basement from a Facebook ad, $1,801 from a basement coating from a customer that we worked with before and did his garage ready, a $363 house wash, a $370 driveway cleaning from somebody else's that messed up their driveway for them. And then, like I was saying, these will be the three things that got me where I am today and will help me over time that I've learned across 10 years of going hard. So the first one here for you guys is your world frame. Basically, whatever dictates your world frame will get you the results that you're looking for at the end of the day. A wonderful movie that I love, probably one of my favorite movies, is The Matrix. In The Matrix, essentially, there's a guy named Neo, and I highly recommend watching it, a guy named Neo, and he is the chosen one. He doesn't know that he is the chosen one at the beginning. He has a guide named Morpheus who ends up guiding him through the process of becoming and understanding that he is the one. During this movie, some of the things that really stick out for me are the dojo scene where Morpheus and Neo are in the dojo and they're trying to test out Morpheus's skills. They're trying to see, does this guy have what it takes? Morpheus is blocking all the punches from Neo. Neo is not having a good time whatsoever. But the line that really sticks out at the very end is Morpheus is talking to Neo, and Morpheus says, inside of this training simulation, he says, "Do you believe that this is air that we are breathing here currently?" And that means to basically question every world frame out there. Alex Ramosi says essentially that we question all of the beliefs other than the ones that we truly believe, meaning the things that come to us could be holding us back, but we never look to see what it is. I hear all the time it's hard to find good help, can't charge those prices, and as well for some people, like the marketing that I provide as well, we have like 10 spots left onto that if you want to first link down below, that they won't work for me. And essentially, if you believe these things, you are correct. That's the answer. If you believe something, you'll get it. If you don't believe something, you will not get it. If you believe that you deserve what you are, then you'll get it. If you think that you are the greatest floor coater out there and you actually believe that, but you're still caring about your customers, you will be able to get more jobs closed because of the certainty that you have. If you say, oh, this market is bad, or, obviously there's some things that are factual at the end of the day, but if you are really trying to go big, and this ties into the second point, which is a goal. Whatever your goal is, in another movie, Invincible is an amazing movie, onto this, my lawyer sent it to me, he is a walk-on Eagles player. He does open tryouts, the Eagles have been performing terrible, and this is based upon a true story. His name is Vince, which is probably why they call it Invincible. And along the movie, essentially you'll probably be able to find a lot of different things that he had been tested against that will be whatever is the goal for a person. I'm doing 3 mil simply because I am bored of it, and if I did the same numbers I did last year, I would be unhappy with myself. And I know if I continue to get even more revenue inside of my business and obviously profit at the end of the day, I will be in an entirely different situation where I could do different things than I even can currently at this moment. Many of these things for me are, family. I like to prove other people wrong. My friend likes to make people proud. So I like to prove people wrong. My friend likes to make people proud. And that's a lot of what has gone on throughout his life with it. Obviously, I grew up very poor. I had a lot of issues in family, divorce, parents on alcohol, drugs, all that kind of stuff. And to me, money is fun, but I'm already good enough on money. Like, technically, I could still do the same thing that I did last year, and I would be totally fine. With all my expenses paid, everything would be great. I could probably get my profitability even higher and just work onto that and do a great job. But I want to continue to do more. And I know that to hit new levels, I need to also have the right frames. So as you can see, these tie in very well together. If your goal is you want to be a one-man army, finding good help kind of matters, kind of doesn't matter. As long as you have somebody that can help you install the floors, then it's whatever with that. But if you're trying to eventually, like I want to have 3 crews on floor coating and 2 crews on decks and pressure washing this year, I'm going to need more people. I can't do all that by myself. I'm not going to be able to hit the numbers that I want to by myself, so I need more people. Well, I'm willing to then go through it, because as well, another frame that is possible to have is if everybody else thinks it's hard and you think it's easy, then it's not hard. And also you can use that frame that if they think it's hard and I think it's easy, it will be easier for me and they will never do what I will do to get to where I want to go. Just like with Elon Musk, eventually, at the very beginning, the people said batteries are expensive. They've always been this way. They always will be. What does he do? He takes it to the raw ingredients. What do we need to make batteries? We need some lithium. I have no idea what else you need, but you need some lithium, and then you can price it out for what is those base raw materials, what do those actually cost? And then he was able to find that, wow, actually it's a lot less expensive than it was originally thought of, and everybody else had that mind frame that it is hard to be able to source all these materials and to be able to make a battery. Well, he flips it on his head, and now, boom, look, you have Tesla right here with it. As well, it's important if you are seeing the way that other people are seeing their goals, and like how I am as well trying to frame what I'm trying to do is Michael Jordan was going to win regardless. Whatever sport you put Michael Jordan in, he was going to win. That is because he has the frame that he is trying to find a way that he can go into an animalistic mindset so that he can win the game. One person talks trash to him, and then it's game on. You have the funny quote, which is, I took it personally. His goal was to try to find something that he could take personally so that he could drive himself into another gear and never stop onto that. Why do I believe that I am going to hit my goals and do all these things? And as well, there's other marketing agencies, and I'm sure they watch these videos as well too, that have called me scammer. They copy my ads word for word because they can't cut it themselves, and you know that whatever, right? But I know that in the end I will win because they're not willing to do what I will do, and they have never gone as low as I possibly have inside of my whole life. From my upbringing, from how hard I've worked in the past, I was doing basically 16-hour days every day of the week when I was in college. I know that they can't hang with that, or if they try to hang with it, they won't have the insights, they won't have all the things, because I am a floor coater first and foremost, which is why I'm able to create such great ads for myself and for other people. So, it's a one-on-one situation. You can't copy me. You can do whatever you want, but you don't know the exact recipe that is going into it. So boom. It's a way that I can leverage myself if I really need to. I try not to be too much onto that side of things most of the time, because I still want to be a very positive and upbeat person for others as well. So, if I have my goal, which is 3 mil, then I need to see and ensure that I have the right frames of worldview that I'm looking for to be able to get myself where I am. Some of these have to be, taking the lessons from them, or sometimes they can just be flipped over from other people who have great frames and then adopting those same frames. I probably spent 20,000 hours at least onto YouTube, which sounds crazy, but I watch everything at double speed, and I've been able to see the frames, the ideas, the ways that other people move so much. So many high-level people that I've been able to learn from, and as well have access to, and to be able to continue to grow and see what works and what doesn't work, and how that all fits into the system that I have with myself. Initially, I wanted to do, for instance, my website by myself. I spent 1,000 hours, not even joking, 1,000 hours building Wix website, and then I went over to Squarespace because I heard the SEO was better, and then I went over to WordPress. After that, I learned the insides, the outsides of every bit of all of that for SEO optimization, meta tags, headlines, everything to do with that. And then at the end of it, after I wasted about 1,000 hours, I could have just hired the same people who run my manage my website at the moment for $200 per month. Now, I had the frame back then that I needed to do everything myself, and because of that, I lost out on a lot of time. And that's just an issue that I've had. If I had that 1,000 hours, I'm in an entirely different universe right now if I would have done that. But sometimes the learnings have to be had from it when I start from such a low place, then I had to learn all these things, like being broke. I didn't know that I could charge the prices that I want to charge because I grew up very poor and thought that this would be a large expense for a lot of people for floor coatings. I reorient myself that people want quality work and they will pay quality prices for it. Price is a matrix, with the idea being that sometimes premium prices like Gucci, all these things, people charge high prices onto them, people value them even more from charging a higher price, ironically, right? If Gucci is $20, everybody has Gucci, then it's not Gucci. So it's very, very useful with those. If you guys have any frames or anything that you'd like me to go over in the comments, let me know down below as well too onto these. But finding the goal and then finding the world frames that go inside of that goal for myself. And again, I like the movie The Matrix, probably one of my favorite movies, and as well Invincible there as well too. And then the third point here is cutting all of the bullshit that is not helping. Many people will lie to themselves and say they want to relax with, naughty videos. And, I'm not a saint myself. I've, human being, young male, it is what it is, right? People like drugs. I've seen that with my parents through life, alcohol, all these other things, as well as keeping negative influence friends around. People that are negative framed by nature. Oh, that's not going to work. Oh, I can't believe that you would do that. I was supposed to go to medical school, and then I decided to go into floor coatings. Isn't that kind of a switch up? And even my family didn't like that at the very beginning, but through the success that I've had, they start to come around, and they start to understand that I'm going to basically do whatever I want to do. And as long as I have that right goal in mind, then nowadays, they trust it a lot more whenever I say these things that I want to do, because they've seen the track record of it. So, like I was saying with the world frames don't automatically come like prepackaged perfect. Unfortunately, the world is trying to frame everybody all the time, continuously. Usually negative frames, usually people are saying, things like, what's it matter to drink alcohol? Alcohol is not that bad. Marijuana is not that bad. Everybody watches these bad videos, it's not that bad. Oh, it's a relaxing kind of thing to do these things. Oh, you deserve a drink after a hard day. Oh, marijuana, it's actually better than alcohol, is what people will say. So marijuana is not that bad. But ironically, because of how, if you drink too much, you throw up. And then you're like, dang, I don't want to do that again. With marijuana, it's very hard for people to overdose on marijuana. So this is like almost a time drain entirely, where people then will get high for very, very, very long times, and it doesn't negatively impact their life enough so that the tipping point becomes something that they're like, dang, I really need to stop doing this, and they just coast through. So it's like it's a numbing agent, while it also is something that blunts the competitive edge onto people. And then here's another thing is people, back to the frames. You'll have people say, well, Snoop Dogg smokes weed all the time, and Snoop Dogg has no issues whatsoever. Well, Snoop Dogg is an artist, and he's also already set himself up so much, and ironically, the marijuana and everything kind of played into the rap music that he makes. So he is kind of a terrible example, aka going off of the world frame and seeing who is worthwhile to listen to the frames of with it. Because if you take a normal functioning person versus somebody that's on marijuana, I would probably bet that the person that is sober will beat the marijuana person 9 times out of 10, all the time. So cutting all the bullshit that's not helpful, being honest with oneself. This can also be bad food, and then another example of bad food that is like not nutritious, that is slowing a person down, that's making them more sluggish, but they're addicted to the food because it tastes really good. And it doesn't become enough of a problem because the health issues of that don't usually metabolize until like 50 years old for a person, where they either have a heart attack or some kind of negative influence happens so much so that they're like, dang, I really need to make a change, because it opens up the window for themselves at that time. Again, I'm not saying, I'm not trying to preach, I'm just trying to say that from everybody that I've learned from, many of these things right here hold back people more so than anything in this whole entire world. Not to mention the frames that end up occurring based upon these things that are basically false gods for people to end up being on. So the naughty videos is basically really lust at the end of the day. The drugs, the alcohol is all false gods because they change the mental state of the person and allow them to be okay and comfortable with what is going on. The bad food is gluttony. These are all just the vices of the world. And then the negative influences are the company that is kept by a person. Saying that a person would be the average of the 5 people that they're around. Well, if 5 of the people that you're around all the time are always negative influences, then that's going to negatively impact your ability to get the resources and also have the right frame to be able to see the opportunity inside of the world at that same time. So I've gotten rid of as much of the bullshit that's not helping as I can, and then as well stacking as many frames that I can for myself to help towards the goal. So, a misconception is, Michael Jordan loved basketball. He was such a passionate player about basketball. He may have liked basketball, but he was definitely going to win regardless because of the competitive nature that he had inside of himself. You put him into any other sport, it would have been it. Because as you can see, he does gambling now. He likes to play golf competitively. He's trying to play always at the highest level of competitiveness, which is the frame that he holds. He's trying to be the best at whatever domain he throws himself into after he finds out if the goal is worthwhile to go after, and then he tries to cut all the negative bullshit that is possible out of it so that he has the highest chance of success with that domain. And then stacking as many of the frames towards it. Usually it seems like with him, it's a lot of the trash talk. People talk trash, people say one negative thing, and then it gets personal for him. And then he goes off the walls with it, and then you see where he gets the 6 NBA championships. The Last Dance is another great one to watch as well, too. I believe that most of these, it is somewhat natural, but it is also a proclivity that a person can get over time. I would say that I got very fortunate. Here's a great frame for you. I got very fortunate by having parents who really didn't take that good care of me, so I was able to develop self-resilience at a very young age. I was never given more than like $100 onto my birthday, and oftentimes there was times where there wasn't even food inside of the house. This made me a very self-sufficient person, and I knew that I was always going to have to get it myself and rely upon nobody ever with it. I also got to firsthand see from being inside of the courtrooms, everything that was going on at that time with my parents. I got to see what is manipulation at an extremely, extremely young age so that I could guide it and see who is manipulative, who is a pure spirit, who is a person that is able to be trusted going on. As well, I know that I've already gone through basically hell and back, so nothing in this world can really affect me. I've already been saved, aka a frame, by Jesus Christ, and I believe that God is somebody who can save a person, and I have already been saved. So literally, I don't care about dying. Nothing matters to me. And as well, yeah, isn't that pretty cool with it? So I could have taken all of that and I could have stacked negative frames onto myself and become a total loser that's like in my mom's basement, doing drugs all the time, not caring about the world, not trying to better myself, not trying to become anybody whatsoever. And nobody would have also batted an eye at that at the same time. My friends probably would have been cool with it because I would be lower on the totem pole than them. And then they would be able to shine whenever we go out and socialize or hang out, and then have a great time with it, where I would have had a much more difficult life. And again, nobody would have said or batted an eye in the opposite way because that would have worked into their world frame at that same time. So I hope that this video has been useful to kind of extrapolate onto what has been useful inside of my life for this as well too. So if you made it this far, as well, I have opened up the marketing here. I had a total of 3 more people from the last videos join on to it, and so that puts me at 14 people. I'll be capping it at 25 because I'm not trying to get rich off of this, and everybody copies me anyway, so I probably would prefer to not get the secrets out there as I'm trying to grow my own business at the same time. But if that is something any useful for you, I do have a world frame that I like to market quite a bit, and I will say that the top guys copy what I do, if that gives you any indication of my skill level. So click the link, that'll be the first one down below for you. Book a call, watch the videos. I'm trying to hit 3 mil, so if you're like a little bit on the fence, just don't do it. I really don't care, because I don't need headache clients, aka world frame, because I've already been there. I've already tried to make people's world frames change so that they can become it. I think that people deserve and reserve and get what they deserve inside of this universe based upon the world frames that they have. And if they think they can, they will. If they think they can't, they won't. So see you guys in the next video. Hope you have a great weekend, and talk soon. Peace.